Batsman went back that time. Blackwood defending. 88 for 4. Stokes is whirling his arms over at first slip. Yet to see him this innings. He's done it with the bat. He'd be the man to break the partnership with ball. Bess in over the wicket again. Goes forward. Blackwood defends back up the pitch. And there's no run. Do you think there is anything wrong with Stokes' toe?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so. I just think with this side that Joe Root's got, he's got a lot of options, isn't he? And on this kind of wicket, Don Bess, it has been turning.
Bess in again. Defence once more. Coming well forward. Blackwood looking solid.
You know, with the three other seamers, you know, going to go to spin. That's probably why he's been the last seamer to be turned to. And he'll make a difference. He'll make something happen. That is a certain.
Bess in past umpire Gough. Flick of the wrist to mid-wicket where Rory Burns is fielding in his Navy England cap. Bearded, a sleeveless jumper on, long-sleeved shirt beneath. Don Bess bowling with his collar up. Now that's reminiscent of Graham Swan. I think he's got the top button done up as well. And he goes over the wickets. Forward again, defence, getting that bat and pad really tight together is Blackwood. 88 for 4. And so, what is going to happen here? Are we going to have some Stokes right now? Looks like we are. And get ready to bowl from the James Anderson end. Well, there's been another little potential shift in the day's play here. First time we'll see Ben Stokes bowl in this innings.
Imagine the crowd now. If there was a crowd in there, the roar he'd got when they announced that Ben Stokes was on after his heroics in the first innings and the third innings.
Yep. And then just his innings with the bat showed absolutely demonstrated the all-round cricketer that he is and what he's developed into as a batsman, because we saw the shifting gears in the first innings. We saw how long he can bat, how patiently he can bat, how he can expand and then rein himself in as if he's got his own batting talent on a string, and he'll just give himself a little bit more to play with and then just reel himself in a little bit. And then this morning we just saw the whole lasso being thrown.
Gave him first, wouldn't it? Walked down to Roach and just cracked it to the offside, only for one, but...
Here's Stokes then, his first ball. It's outside the off stump to Brooks and he's leaving it alone through to Butler.
But he showed his intent, didn't he? Straight away. I'm having 2 or 3 overs to play myself in. We need runs quickly and I'm going to go first ball.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch. Absolutely amazing. Reminiscent of the way he played the Australians at Headingley. Slightly different scenario, but equally in a way that put England in a commanding position. And it could yet have drifted and squeaked into a different direction. Here is Stokes in again, and just surprised Brooks a little bit. As if he was in two minds whether to really commit to a forward defence or not, and ended up more upright, drawing away at the last moment. You're busting out the bubble after this, Alistair. This is your last test of this series with us.
I am. Back to Essex training tomorrow. We've got waiting for those fixtures to come through for those 5 games in the Bob Willis Cup to start. I think our first game's against Kent, actually.
Here's Stokes in again to Brooks. Yes. A big drive. He's got the nick. No, he hasn't. Through to Butler. Well, it was taking a big stride forward outside the off stump and forward to Stokes. Really liked the look of it, didn't he?
It was a full ball. Ben Stokes got that away shape, draw him into the shot, and I heard something in my ears. I thought it was quite a clear nick, but I must have not listened properly.
It can be deceptive, the noises in your ears. Stokes in again though. The offer up to Brooks once more. It's straighter, tucks him up. Who comes off the outside edge into the ground and out towards point. Well, it's just a change-up, isn't it? A new bowler, it's Stokes. It's his force of personality that he brings when he comes running in as well that will make a batsman wary.
Yeah, and also he at some stage might come around the wicket, bowl some bouncers as well, just to keep the West Indies on their toes like he did in that kind of 11-over spell in the first innings. Definitely doesn't need to do it now. There's plenty there if he can find that Stuart Broad area.
Stokes goes in. This is tucked off the hip, past the square leg umpire. Coming back for a second. Chase out into the deep. It's a gentle 2 in the end, so the first runs conceded by Stokes. 90 for 4, the West Indies. Who was a bowler when you were facing that, almost sort of had that similar force of personality? And you're lucky to play with some pretty bowlers who had big personalities and big presences, I suppose. Big presence, that's what Stokes does, isn't it? That's what he's got, which is accentuated by the crowd getting behind him when he comes onto bowl. You're absolutely right. It adds to the theatre and the drama of the moment. Stokes here, he's taken a flash outside the off stump, missed, through to Butler once more. So a couple of shots which could have brought about a wicket during that first Ben Stokes over. West Indies are 90 for 4 then, set 312 by England. I'll let you ponder that question, Alistair. And Simon Mann's then coming in.
Yeah, Ben Stokes just makes things happen. Actually, 2 innocuous balls and then 2 absolute jaffers, and then a ball which the last ball, the over, was just in the channel and makes something happen. Brooks, maybe if it wasn't Ben Stokes, would have easily put it away, but just at the moment, what the Ben Stokes has got in this game, it just feels as if any time there could be a nick. And just West Indies, a bit of a strange over that one. I couldn't quite work out what was happening.
Well, if you can't, it'll be a mystery for everyone else as well. 90 for 4, 29 overs have been bowled. Best bowls, that's hit forcefully by Blackwood up towards long on for a single. It's good batting from Blackwood. I know there's a bit of risk there, but it also transfers a bit of pressure back onto the bowling side. You do play a few shots, and he's also eating up balls as well.
He's done the damage now, hasn't he? If he can now just settle into a nice bit of rhythm in terms of damage, in terms of the field has gone back.
Brooks is on 23 meanwhile, and he drives into the offside, goes out to extra cover where it's picked up by Crawley, and there is no run. So there are 55 overs left in the day's play after this one, so still bags of time for England. I feel like a long haul for West Indies, but these two giving them a bit of a chance here. Here's Best bowling, and that's hit firmly into the onside by Brooks to mid-wicket. Remember, the target is 312. 85 overs, so it's about 4 and over from here if West Indies want to chase it. And these two are playing positively. Brooks on 23, slipping a short leg in. Best bowls. Oh, he nearly plays on there, very nearly plays on. Chopped that into the ground, hit Butler's pads, and then rolled forward into the crease.
Yeah, not a good shot to the ball turning in. Just trying to dab it down to that vacant point area, but it's high risk that for very little reward, and that's, again, so easily could have just chopped onto the stumps.
He wasn't far away from that off stump. He hit Butler on the helmet and then rolled forward. Best again, bowls to Brooks, who takes that off the stumps, giving himself some room. Tried to hit that through the offside. It was a fraction short though from Best, so it wasn't a very high risk shot. Picked up by Crawley in the covers. There's no run. 91 for 4. Last ball of Best is over. He's bowled 4 overs so far. No wicket for 15. Oh, and it goes past the outside edge of Brooks's bat. Perhaps just playing for some turn there. And it was one that just went straight on through to Butler, who whipped off the bails for good measure. But Brooks's back foot was anchored. Anything that would help England a bit here, they're playing 1 or 2 shots, and that might just free them up a bit and gives England a chance. These two are playing nicely at the moment.
Yeah, because Brooks has looked really just solid, isn't he? And then that last over to Stokes, I was trying to work it out. He had a big couple of whooshkas outside off stump, out of nowhere really, out of absolutely nowhere. He's been so controlled, and we know Blackwood's been aggressive, but Brooks has just been really controlled. Then Ben Stokes comes on, and he's, he would have just left those balls 10 minutes ago. Now Ben Stokes come on, he's played massive drives at it, and that's why I couldn't quite work out how that's happened. Anyway,
well, let's see what Stokes can induce in this over. Blackwood is on 38. West Indies are 91 for 4. Stokes coming in from the Jimmy Anderson end, bowls outside the off stump, and Blackwood lifts the gloves and lets the ball go through to Josh Butler. The weather, it's brighter now than it was, say, an hour ago. Some blue sky away to our left-hand side, and a stiff breeze as well to blow any dark clouds away.
Was it on air with you yesterday? I read out my mum's text message. I heard her report.
Yeah. Have you got more today?
I've got more. Yeah, I got one last night. I thought I'd save it when you're on air.
All right.
With us.
This is Stokes rolling into bowl to Blackwood. He's up on his toes, playing defensively into the offside towards extra cover, and there's no run.
So she's been throughout this Test match, anyone hasn't known, she's been sending a message of her report of the day from her eyes. So it was a day 4 report started off actually, this one. Pleasantly cool conditions for gardening. Listen to TMS. Tense, interesting day with lots of swings and roundabouts. Slow start today with no great problems for West Indies. It goes on, you better do this ball next.
Okay.
It's quite a long one, this one.
This is Stokes going into ball, a drive and a miss from Blackwood. Not far away from off stump as well. Blackwood looks frustrated with himself, but that wasn't a great shot. It didn't look a great shot anyway. 91 for 4, and the non-striker Brooks comes down to have a word with him. Come on, we've got a Test match here to save. Blackwood saying we've got a Test match to win.
Well, yeah, this strike rate, I'll give him a chance. So then she went on to say, I was surprised that Stokes did not bowl earlier, and then was even more surprised that he bowled 11 consecutive overs. And then she was resigning herself to the draw. Must predict a text spelt wrong, which was a bit...
Stokes bowls, 4 goes Blackwood, playing that towards mid-on, and there's no run.
Which she then went on later on text message when she realised that she spelt draw wrong. And when the new ball cometh, there was the Broady batch followed by the Wokesees wickets, which put a different perspective on the day. So basically she's better than me at this job, and she should be doing it instead.
Oh, we can get her in for the next Test match. You're heading off.
Exactly. And then the final, did anything else? Oh, we talked about her name. Stephanie was her name in grammar school. Elizabeth, the new queen, is very popular, and there's 5 Elizabeths in the class, so she volunteered to change.
Right, okay.
Finally found out.
Stokes bowls, Blackwood gets a single into the offside to the right of backward point. Takes West Indies to 92 for 4, and Blackwood to 39. I'd have to say I'd be keener to hear her report on your commentary, what she thinks of your commentary and your summarising. Does she do that or not?
Not yet. That could be what it should be. If TMS is summariser through Mum's eye, Mum's ears.
There we are, Mrs. Cook. That's your next challenge.
It'll come through quickly, I reckon.
Stephanie or Elizabeth? Do you go by Stephanie or Elizabeth now?
Go Stephanie for you.
Stephanie. All right. This is Stokes bowling. He's up on his toes. Brooks turning that through square leg for 1. Are they going to come back for the second? They do. Field of Pope is slightly off balance actually, but sends it over the head of Butler. Backed up at backward point by Bess. 2 more to the total, 94 for 4 at the end of 31 overs, so they're scoring at around about 3 and over, just over 3 and over. There are 54 overs left and need 312 to win. The game's at a very interesting stage at the moment, but you do feel there are quick wickets available on this pitch.
Well, because England got 3 wickets quite early, even if there's a partnership, you just know that the rest of these 54 overs, they know if they go another bang bang, they can change very quickly. You just have a feeling again this is going to go down to the wire, don't you?
We could be in for a very exciting finish later on. 54 overs left. New over from Best, bowling to Blackwood. Best still looking for his first wicket in his second innings. And he's played away by Blackwood into the onside. We're getting his bat out in front of his pad there. Blackwood, you feel, gives you a chance. Played superbly last Sunday in Southampton. I thought that was the man of the match performance, to be honest, but they gave it to Shannon Gabriel for his 9 wickets. Here is Bess, nudged away past short leg by a flinching Blackwood. Goes to Broad at backward square leg.
So you just know, don't you? You just think he might. He just fancies going over mid-off, don't you? You know that's in his mind. He just thinks, I can play that shot. I can play that shot. And the bloke on his shoulder will be telling him to do it.
Bess to Blackwood, he's back. Turning that to Broad, backward square leg, and there's no run. Presumably there's a long on in. There
is.
Can't see him, he's beneath the gantry in front of the box. Deep cover, deep mid wicket, long on. 3 men out for Blackwood against Bess. Bess goes in and bowls, and too short there. Blackwood's back, forcing it into the onside, goes to Burns at mid wicket, and there is no run. It's a good battle out there. Blackwood trying to piece it together, but that aggressive streak in him as well. He wants to take the bowling on. Reined it in superbly last week. Helped West Indies win that match. Best bowls to him. It's nudged away past short leg. In the air for a moment. There was a groan from Ollie Pope at short leg. Broad has to run back towards the deep square leg boundary. And Blackwood moves into the 40s with 2 more runs. So 41 to him. West Indies at 96 for 4. Don Bess looking at this West Indies batting lineup and thinking, where are all those left-handers gone? And all the other sides seem to have.
I've got some stats on off-spin to right and left-handers for you. I can cut to at the end of this over after this ball from Bess.
Okay. Moves in now and bowls to Blackwood. It's short and pummeled away by Blackwood. Whether that hit Pope at short leg, I'm not sure. It didn't go that forcefully out to deep mid-wicket. Might just have taken some of the pace of it by hitting his shin pads or bottom of his boot. Anyway, it was a single to Blackwood, who's taken the bowling. He's looking aggressive, and it's interesting for the game as well. Blackwood 42, West Indies 97 for 4. They're by no means just sitting on the splice here. They are playing one or two shots as well.
I think some of the top off-spinners in recent years, their records to right and left-handers. Nathan Lyon averages 36 to right-handers, 23 to left-handers. Graham Swan was 37 to right-handers, 21 to left-handers. Ashwin 31 to right-handers, 20 to left-handers, and Moeen Ali just under 40 to right-handers, 30 to left-handers. So there's been it's a big task for an off-spinner to pretty much exclusively right-handed batting lineup. The exceptions to this, going back a while, were the unorthodox right-arm off-spinners. Muralitharan, Harbhajan Singh, Syed Ajmal and Saqlain Mushtaq all had better records to right-handers than left-handers.
Stokes to Blackwood. Blackwood up on his toes, guiding it away into the offside purely defensively. And there is no run. Tuffers is here.
Oh, hello. Yeah, all of them had doozeries.
Yes, so that was the challenge that they offered to the right-handed batsman, the ball turning away. Since 2015, and we haven't seen many of that type of bowler in world cricket in recent years. All off-spinners combined in Test cricket since the start of 2015 have averaged 40 against right-handers and 27 against left-handers. Which might ask some questions about selection, possibly.
Yeah, with Leach in the ranks. Here is Stokes bowling. That's driven by Blackwood into the offside for runs. 2, possibly 3. Wokes is after it from mid-off, and they come back for 3 runs. Takes West Indies to 100. 100 for 4 in the 33rd over, and a promising partnership developing between Blackwood 45 and Brooks on 25. This might be a bridge too far for you, Andy, but it seems to me this West Indies side is extremely unusual, a bit of an outlier in the modern game. I think in the past, going back 50 years, teams had lots of right-handers, but then there seem to be more and more left-handers in the game. I just wonder whether this West Indies side, here is Stokes bowling, and Brooks covers up and plays into the onside, and there's no run. You can just brush this away, actually, or duck underneath it. Whether this is actually a very unusual West Indies side to have a preponderance of right-handers that most teams these days have, 3, 4, 5 left-handers in them.
I'm not going to duck underneath it. I'm going to try and hit it over long leg for 6, Simon. Give me a couple of minutes.
Oh, right, okay. That's the spirit.
Long leg.
Yeah. Stokes roaring into bowl, a bouncer. And Brooks ducks underneath it.
Patience the key, isn't it? Patience the key here for England. Things do happen quickly here, but this partnership is irritating for England. Why they didn't review that glove off of Brooks, I don't know. I think he did quite a good job of throwing a dummy there, Brooks, because I just saw Joe Ruco running up past him, and I think he said something to Ruco.
What, go on, review it?
Yeah, go on, and I thought, go on, and you figure, he just gave, he threw a really good dummy.
Right.
And I think that just got in Joe Root's head.
Stokes bowls outside the off stump. Brooks lets it go. There was a double connection, was that, off the glove and arm, so they would have known it hit the arm, and they would have thought, what, did it flick the glove on the way through?
Yeah. So yes, Brooks has sort of said to him, I've done you there because that's just hit the arm or something. You know what I mean? These things do happen.
Yeah.
You shouldn't actually be allowed to talk to the opposition, perhaps, should you? I don't know whether you can.
Not to try to fox them.
Yes, otherwise it would be like, really interesting.
100 for 4. Brooks on 25. Stokes moves in, bowls him outside the off stump. Brooks lets it go.
Sort of like, go on in, I dare you. Go on.
End of the over. So another one ticks by. Stokes 3 overs, no wicket for 8. England took their last wicket in the 15th over, and that was over number 33.
Yeah.
So, but we did say earlier, didn't we? You can put together a partnership, and then something can happen quickly.
Yeah.
You've got to be. You said talk about patience. It is a pitch on which things can happen quickly. You just need the one to open things. It just looks such a different game, doesn't it? You get one, but at the moment, Brooks and Blackwood are going well.
Yeah, it's one of those pitches that if you have an end open, you know that sort of like initial 20-minute burst at the until it gets to about 15-20 is absolutely crucial, because once you do get in a bit, you can still hang around on this kind of pitch, but difficult starting with the odd one sort of keeping low and what have you. Just think he needs to slow it down a bit, Don Bess. He's all a little bit anxious, if you know what I mean. Bowling it a little bit too quickly. Sometimes just stand a bit taller and throw it up from the hand. A little bit of flight, a little bit of dip.
He will be feeling the final day pressure a bit, won't he?
This is why you're here. You know what I mean? So it's all well and good sort of saying this, but just slow it down a little bit. Get some bounce from the pitch.
Best bowls. Forward goes Blackwood.
What speed's that? Does the speed come up?
Yeah. It's 55.
55. That's a bit brisk. You want to sort of 51, 52, and just get it going up from the hand. Create some deception, some flight, and some dip.
Best bowls. Blackwood goes back, clips that away to broad, backward square leg.
56 again. That's quick off spinning.
What do you think you bowled at?
I don't know. Probably 50, 51, something like that. With the ability then. I just want to see a bit more variation in speed.
Best moves in and bowls to Blackwood. Blackwood is forward, bat in front of the pad. Bess is interested, hands on his head, but played calmly.
So just
mid wicket, and there's no run.
Bit one paced for me.
100 for 4. England being held up by this excellent fifth wicket stand. Best bowls. Blackwood right back into his stumps, playing defensively with soft hands towards short leg. Picked up there by Pope.
It's all very well and good feeling under pressure, but everyone's under pressure.
Yeah, the batsmen will be feeling it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They're battling to win the series. Here's Blackwood coming forward, plays it back to the bowler, and Bess picks up. It's a different sort of pressure for a spinner there. The pace bowler, you can run in and you can bowl short, and you can, do you know what I mean? You can be aggressive. A spinner, it's all about that, the subtleties, and everyone's looking to you as well. There's only one of you, whereas there are 4 pace bowlers. Best bowls, holds that one back a bit, turns, strikes him high up on the pad, drops onto the pitch, and Butler comes behind the stumps to pick up. It is the end of the over. West Indies are 100 for 4. We've had 34 of the 85 overs available, and Brooks and Blackwood playing well, 25 and 45 respectively. More from Tovers, and then it will be Jonathan Agnew.
Yeah, they are playing well. They've just halted England's charge with just some good patient batting. They've got themselves in. They haven't just been sort of camped on the back foot, not playing any shots. When the shots have been there, they've decided to put them away, which just keeps you going as a batsman. But England will just be getting a little bit frustrated here.
Ball's gone soft, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not quite the same impact on the pitch as there was. 100 for 4. Stokes on his way from the far end, bowls short of a length, and Brooks turns him easily off the hip into the leg side for another run. 101 for 4, the target 312. The over's ticking away. It's 50 to go after this one, and the partnership worth 64. There's Durrich and Holder to come.
You're always going to have a partnership, aren't you? You usually have a partnership somewhere along the line, so you've just got to stay patient. But you're right, that does sound soft, that ball.
Yeah. I wonder if Stokes might go into a short-pitched attack as he did in West Indies' first innings. I think at the moment it seems to be.
I don't think he's perhaps moving so well, actually. Looks like he's got a few pebbles in the old boots. A little bit ginger on the sort of feet.
Well, he bowled something like 57 bounces, didn't he?
Well, there you go. 11 overs of short pitch stuff. It's going to have its toll on you, isn't it?
But I think that's what they're doing. And just as Douglas Jardine did all those years ago, I think Roots clapped his hands
and said, let's have it.
And they're adopting this field now, which is for short pitch bowling. So there's 2 third men, one very fine, 4th slip, deep square leg, fine leg, and Stokes will be bowling bouncers here. And there's the first one.
Yeah.
And Blackwood is put on his bottom there to get out of the way. 101 for 4. Is he going to go for it?
That takes it out of you, John.
It takes it out of you, and you're also so restricting your ways of getting a wicket, of course.
But I mean, you're almost then trying to get the sort of the beans of the batsman going a bit, aren't you? Saying, right, well, hold on a minute, I don't like ducking and weaving, and as you said, sort of almost sitting on your backside. No, I'm having enough of this. I'm going to play the shot, but it's whether Blackwood falls for it.
He's on 45. Here comes Stokes, bowls another bouncer down the leg side, and Blackwood just rakes at the ground with his boot. Root's changing the field. He's bringing up the deep square leg. I mean, if Blackwood's not going to join in and play, then it makes the whole thing a little bit pointless. But in fact, what they're doing, they're bringing Pope to short leg, and Root is now going out to where Pope was, out to deep square leg. So how close is Pope going? He's going on the on the next pitch, as in Friday's pitch, which is changing colour by the hour. It's getting paler and paler. 101 for 4. Blackwood on 45. Stokes again looks set to bowl a bouncer. Here he comes. It's short of a length, this one. Blackwood has to play. It rolls out to Wokes at cover. You'd be thinking, if a batsman got out in this situation, to this, it's a bit of a a soft one, wouldn't you? You'd be a bit of a sucker punch.
Exactly.
Different when you're trying to set a big score and you're batting first and you've got runs on the board and you've got to press on a bit.
Yeah, it's playing with his temperament, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Stokes bowls short, turned away off his hip this time. Broad is there to field. So 211 more runs needed in 64 overs. That's how it looks for the West Indies with 6 wickets in hand. Right, now we were expecting this news, but the ICC has today confirmed that the T20 World Cup in Australia has been postponed. I think we were expecting that. It was October, November. So there's more options. As back goes Blackwood and plays back up the pitch, and is fielded by Pope. 101 for 4, 35 overs gone. Brooks 26, Blackwood 45. So the windows for the next men's events are the T20 World Cup will be held in October, November 21. That's in India, isn't it? That one's. Well, we don't know. Okay, it just windows can be played anywhere, but it was due to be played in India. There's another one in 22, which I suspect is this one that's been postponed now. I think sips into 22. That's going to be on the final on the 13th of November. Venue TBC, I think part of the world TBC, really. This is what this is saying. And then the World Cup will be held in India in 2023. And this one, best there, very close to the off stump as Brooks watched that spin back from outside the off stump, almost dislodged a bail there. But Butler was there watching as well. So anyway, the main news there is that the World T20, which was scheduled to be played in October and November in Australia, is not happening, and it's been postponed. It goes Bess. Bowls, that's pushed away. Ball rolls down to a wide slip where Stokes is fielding. 101 for 4, which is a shame. It's been a good tournament that, but
well, it is what it is.
Yeah. Bess strides in and bowls slightly short again, and Brooks can push that away into the offside. So England's winter could be test matches in Sri Lanka in January.
Yeah.
Could be some test matches in India. Bess moves in, tossing that's flicked away to mid-on, who's quite deep there. Wokes enables them to take a single. 102 for 4. But how many tests and whether they play one day is there remains to be seen. The ICC board will continue to evaluate the situation in relation to being able to stage the Women's World Cup in 21 in New Zealand in February next year. So driven away into the leg side for a single. So In other words, you'll see how things are going for next February, the Women's World Cup in New Zealand. Planning continues as scheduled, but let's going to wait and see. Yes, from over the wicket, it's very full, swept hard. Broad slightly missed fields there, but it was hit very firmly at him, backward square leg.
It's done well there, Stuart.
It spins horribly there when it comes at you. 103 for 4. The target 312. So, you see, the international landscape at the moment is just, well,
It's a bit
very
more
uncertain.
Yes, it's a bit more Darley than comfortable.
Yes, it is. You like referring to your art knowledge, don't you?
There you go.
I think you are still officially BBC's art correspondent, aren't you?
Well, might be for the one show.
I think you are. I haven't seen you on there recently. Do you still pop up? Only when there's proper art to be discussed.
That's right.
103 for 4. Stokes going to come round the wicket now to see if he can really wind Blackwood up.
Yeah.
Round the wicket with all this short pitch field placing. He comes in, round the wicket, bowls short, pulled
he's
away
taken
by
it on.
Blackwood, didn't take it on. And he's got it away down to Wokes. That deep square leg for 1 run.
Won't mind seeing that.
Blackwood 47. Well, no, it just encourages more of it, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right. And if if the batsmen do play it well, you are just ticking away overs, with you say, with only really one mode of dismissal.
There's a lot to be said for just absolutely ignoring it and just ducking and ducking and ducking it, because Rook can only do it for so long.
Yeah, and the bowler's going to do it so long.
Yeah. But if you give them a little bit of a sniff that you're going to join in, then they'll carry on. 104 for 4. This partnership worth 67 now. And there's 208 more runs required by West Indies.
Well, he came in, didn't he, this stage after losing 3 quick wickets at Southampton, didn't he, Blackwood, and did a
Stokes bowls short of a length to a more orthodox field now.
wonderful job.
And Brooks plays into the leg side. So they're not employing the short pitch attack against Brooks. Just for Blackwood, there's in all 3 slips in place for Brooks.
I think Stewart's going to have how many spells has Stewart got in him? Do you reckon couple more?
Perhaps 2 more.
Yeah.
48 overs left.
I think Stewart's looked the most threatening, hasn't he?
It's when they need the quick fella, isn't it? Archer or Wood or something like that. 104 for 4. Stokes bowls, and that's run away through the gap in the gully. Ball comes down to third man, pursued by Bess. 2 more runs. Or the left-arm spinner Tuffers with all the right-handers.
Well, yes, we've been discussing that, haven't we, for the next Test match. I think there will be a change. I think that Leach will come in.
Yeah.
And then I suppose Archer slots straight back in, does he, or not?
Would rather him or Wood, won't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, one of those two, one of the quick fellas for perhaps a Curran or something.
Yeah.
I think Wokes has bowled quite well.
He has. Here comes Stokes, and he bowls a very high bouncer indeed, which Brooks easily gets underneath.
Job to be done here first.
Well, there is.
Yeah, otherwise it's gone.
Well, if England don't win this,
Yeah.
but of course these days you get points for
Yeah.
your World Test Championship in every game, so there is something on every game now, even though it's not necessarily the series in hand. But if they don't win this, they sort of try and level it up. Starting on Friday, that game, 106 for 4. Stokes bowls, it's turned away to Broad's right hand at mid-on. Down he goes. It's a long way down for Stuart Broad these days, running to his right. Rolls over a couple of times. 107 for 4. Target 312, and now out they all go again. And Pope pulls on the helmet, goes out to a sort of deep short leg, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but a short leg would be standing probably 5 yards closer to where he is. They're more for the flick.
Yeah.
Stokes, presumably this will be short. Up he comes, bowls short of a length. Oh, that was what he's there for, and that was turned away around the corner, one-handed, and it was in the air Nowhere near Pope, but that's what he's there for, the sort of fend off and the flick.
Yeah, Blackwood looks more comfortable when Stokes comes over the wicket, ducking and weaving. When he comes round the wicket, he doesn't look quite so comfy, does he? Coming in that rib cage, wants to sort of throw a hand at it and a bat at it.
Yeah. What's happening? He's got his helmet off now. Blackwood is digging around in there for something. Diamond stud in his right ear.
Yeah, you reckon he's left his wallet in there?
Well, he's looking for something. His car keys or something.
Car keys.
What's he put in there? Whatever it is, he's dug it out.
Yeah.
And he's going to face Bess. 108 for 4. Blackwood's on 48.
Has he tried a bit around the wicket, Bess?
Doesn't look like it.
No, it might just be worth just trying something, because they seem to just be playing him rather comfortably at the moment, these two.
Blackwood waits for Bess, who walks in, bowls over the wicket, tossing it up, and Blackwood drives back at him, and actually Bess has misfielded there. And they're able to steal a single.
See, I don't actually see that tossing it up, you see. I see that just bowling quickly and full.
Yeah.
Tossing it up is going from the hand. That's coming down from the hand.
I get you.
Yeah. I'm not meaning to correct.
Oh, no, you're right, though. And that's driven out towards cover. And that's a lovely shot. Look at this go for 4.
Yeah.
Beautifully timed.
Full.
Yeah. That was half volley.
Yeah. And it just all seems a bit flat and a bit quick. You know, tossing it up is going up from the hand. See, that is just that's just full. There's no deception on that, I'm afraid. I don't want to keep having a go, but
No, Toffers is what you're here for, to explain.
Yeah. Just want to see him perhaps.
But he's coming around the wicket now, which is what you wanted him to do.
Yeah, might just get through the action a bit more, get that shoulder and that.
No, he's not. I think Blackwood at this end said, "Hey, come around the wicket."
Yeah.
But no, he's keeping going over the wicket now. 113 for 4, in goes Bess. And he bowls, that's pushed away. Butler goes and retrieves the ball, rolling out towards point.
Might even be worth just switching short leg to the offside, just to make the batsman slightly play differently.
Yeah.
Always got to be thinking.
There's the next one. Hurries through, short of a length, and Butler fields. 113 for 4. I saw our old friend, the PA announcer.
Oh, yes.
This morning as I was striding round.
Is he in good form?
Very good form.
Yes.
Very good form. He's up. I've asked him, where are you sitting?
Yeah.
Up there in the Red Rose Suite, so over on the right, over there. Best bowling. He's hit him straight down the ground. He's timed that magnificently, and I can't see where it's landed, but it's gone for 6. Absolutely straight as you like, over his head.
Good player, this Brooks, a spin.
119 for 4.
It's West Indies' first 6 of the series.
Beautifully struck.
Yeah.
Absolutely straight. The men are up, so tempting him to go for the big shot, and he took it on.
Yeah, it's full again. Yeah, so he's up there, is he?
He's up there.
Cup of tea.
What do you think? That's the Red Rose Suite. Used to be the press box up there.
We used to commentate from there.
We did. What do you think? What do you think his surroundings are in this unusual layout that we now have?
He brought a good book with him.
In goes Bess. Bowles turned away with the spin and stopped by Pope there, who's ringing his left-handed short leg. The ball cannoning into his hand. 119 for 4. I'll give you a couple of guesses.
Right.
His surroundings there up in the Red Rose Suite.
Yeah. Well, a bit sparse, I should imagine.
No, not really sparse. He could certainly make his own entertainment up there, if you like.
Oh, okay.
In fact, he could possibly cook himself something.
He's got a little kitchenette up there.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. He's actually sitting up there in a children's creche.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
With a little children's kitchen area.
Oh, right, a couple of Teletubbies next door to him and
all
stuff.
that sort of stuff. So good luck in there. It's lovely to see him.
A couple of blow-up unicorns.
And why there's a crash there, I don't know. Perhaps the players' children come and play up there or something. But anyway, that's where when the announcements are delivered.
Yes.
It's amongst those nice bouncy things that you blew up and jump up and down on.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, bouncy castle.
Yeah. That's in Castle, aren't there?
Right.
Did you sort of ask him?
Well, I didn't get any details. He's a little dismissively, I'm in a crash. Stokes round the wicket, bowls a bouncer. And but ducks underneath that. Blackwood goes for a walk.
Did you ask him sort of Is it a bit soul destroying, sort of delivering the?
I didn't like to say it must have been. I mean, bit sad. Delivering your announcements to absolutely nobody, but I thought that'd be a bit cruel, actually.
Yes, well,
so we exchanged pleasantries. Always nice to see him around, and off he went to the crash. So some nice books for him to read up there, I think.
Janet and John.
Yeah. Postman Pat.
Yes.
Stokes round the wicket, bowls short, almost carried the short leg.
And you said he felt he was a little bit there. Deep. Another yard or two forward, that would have gone straight into his hands.
Yeah. If he'd just been literally 2 yards.
Yeah.
Well, Stokes is certainly causing some discomfort coming around the wicket. It's up under his armpit.
Yeah.
Let's try and find a way.
Yeah.
Root has come up to backward square leg. He's got his arms folded, looking around the field.
Yeah, doing it well here, the West Indies.
Huge gap through the offside. Stokes comes in, bowls to him, and again he fends that away very awkwardly.
Oh, that could have gone anyway.
Yeah, doesn't like that. Doesn't like it. And he's peeling his glove off now, Black, as if he wants to have a look to see if...
Yeah, thumped right into
that's injured him at all.
Oh, yeah, bottom hand as well.
Nasty.
Yeah, bottom hands. Luckily got it off the bat because it can't squeeze it, can it?
Pope is saying, look, to Joe Root, I think I should be a bit closer here,
it's
skipper.
a good shout.
And I think he's moving in a little bit.
Yeah.
There he goes. But he's still quite deep, but... Crouching now, hands on knees. Stokes fired up, comes in round the wicket, bowls short, and is fended outside the off stump this time, and he's cross because he was lured into playing that, and he knows he shouldn't have done. Should just have let that go.
Yeah, it's starting to wear him down a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is starting to wear him down.
It's just whether Stokes can keep it going, because he must have been absolutely knackered.
Well, he's got an experienced colleague at the other end who actually is now coming down to talk to him. He hasn't played many tests, but he's played an awful lot of first class cricket. Has Brooks. I think he's coming down to talk to Black and say, come on,
When's
keep your cool here.
When's tea?
I think it's at 5-2. 5-4. Stokes sweeps back his hat. 2 balls remain in the over. In he comes and bowls another bouncer, and that perfectly easily negotiated by Blackwood, ducking underneath it. We were talking earlier about Rakeem Cornwall playing at Thames Ditton, where apparently he sank a yard of ale in record time.
Oh yes, good. I like the yard of ale.
Christopher Dixon emails, as impressive as his yard of ale drinking ability undoubtedly was, he also impressed on the pitch. In 11 games he scored 495 runs at an average of 49.5 and took 19 wickets at an average of 12.
Yeah.
Stokes round the wicket, bowls another bouncer. Blackwood's easily underneath that. It ends the over. 15 minutes to go until tea. I'm chatting to Alistair Cook during tea about him going back to Essex and what he's going to do and that sort of a thing. Until then, Tuffers, if you could just have a quick chat, and then Alison's coming in here.
Well, I think he's got a very good chance of playing Rakeem Cornwall in the next Test match. I think there might be a few changes for both sides. Andy, a munchy stat.
Well, in fact, while Simon Madd was on, he asked about how often England face an opposition with 10 or more right-handers. This is only the 9th time in their last 160 Test matches, going back to August 2007, that England have faced 10 or more right-handers. And to illustrate the increasing prevalence of left-handers in recent Test cricket, in England's Test history before that, in about a third of their games that had happened. Ali's just getting ready. Don Best comes in now, bowls short. Brooks steps back and punches behind square on the offside for a single in that wristily elegant way of his, as Ali Mitchell is attempting to solve a fiendish puzzle of tangled wires.
I know. Good luck, Ali. Oh, well.
It doesn't happen on the telly, does it, Ali? You've got 25 people doing it for you. And
you might have to go for a double emergency stat.
Bess is coming in once, only pulls out of this delivery, perhaps and then a heroic attempt to give Ali Mitchell a little more time to get into position to commentate this ball. Do I get paid for this?
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much for that. Well commentated. I'm settled and Bess is in, and it's sliding off the pad. Bess is interested, but the umpire isn't. Blackwood on 49, 120 for 4. And Bess wipes some sweat from his brow, walks back to the end of his mark. I did get in a tangle then, Tuffers.
You did?
Gladly sat down now.
We need a better way of storing our headphones, don't we? Because all those tails, I think they're called tails, aren't they? Leads, whatever, yes. They all get a bit tangled.
Best in again. Forward comes Blackwood, defends. Best stops it with his foot. There was a big inside edge onto pad then. Tell you what it was like, because I don't know how much jewellery you keep, Tuffers, but any female who has a lot of necklaces will know that often you open your jewellery box and all your necklaces are tangled, and it takes an awful age to try and get all the chains untangled. It was exactly like that. Best in, going back Blackwood, working it up into down towards long on, taking a single, and that brings up his 50. So Blackwood, 12th Test 50, a slight raise of the bat towards the dressing room and the balcony. But this is an excellent partnership between these two, more importantly. Yes. But Blackwood recovering well from his duck in the first innings.
Yes, I've always wondered that. It's the same with my wife, you know. Put them back absolutely beautifully, and then there's like a little fairy goes in there and messes them all up.
Completely agree. Bess goes in, little flick of the wrist again, working it down towards long on for one. Yeah. We've got little fairy here as well.
Yes, he's just come and sorted all our leads out. Well done.
Nice and neat. So there was a microphone tree on day one, but actually the microphones had to be moved from the tree to a different position because they were also going to be a bit tangled. As best as in airily, but then straight to Burns at middle wickets. It's the end of the over. 122 for 4. Blackwood on 50. Brooks on 42.
A bit like my sock drawer.
Does that get muddled up as well, does it?
Yeah, it just gets muddled up. I don't know how.
The sock fairy.
And I'm sure that you put 2 in, you know, and you sort of fold them over just to keep them together, and you come back and there's only one there. I don't know what happens.
Do you organise your socks? Are they sort of colour coordinated in any way?
No. No, not really. I haven't got
definitely not one of those people that opens a drawer and you've got your socks lined up there, and then your t-shirts all beautifully folded.
No, numbered. And day Monday,
a
Tuesday.
Monday sock, a Tuesday sock. You've got your purple ones on today.
I have indeed. Yeah, I like a strong sock. keeps me happy. Keeps me happy. Always puts a smile on my face.
Blackwood's half-century came from 81 balls. He's at 7 fours. It's his 13th 50-plus score in Test cricket. He has 1 century against England back in 2015. His second half-century of the series, both in the 4th innings.
Yeah, indeed. A huge value on his 95 in Southampton. Stokes bowling short leg slip as well. In he goes now, backing away, shaping to try and pull him over square leg, and then pulling out of the shot. Brooks. Stokes has followed through and given him a bit of a glare then. He's looking fired up.
When do England start getting a little bit panicky? About now.
Well, 44 overs left after this one.
6 wickets as well.
Still 6 wickets to get. I mean, if the West, what the rate of scoring has been, 4 and a bit and over. Thing is, if West Indies do start to get to a point where they feel we could actually be in sight, and if Blackwood is still there, things could get very interesting. Stokes in, ducking underneath it. I don't think it got up as much as Brooks initially expected. He really had to get down low, right down on that knee pad to get out of the way.
And you just got the feeling that when Brooks gloved that one to the keeper and they didn't review it, that they almost sort of took a bit of heart from that, you know what I mean? England were on the charge there, weren't they? Stumps were flying, things keeping low and what have you, and then I think they've just taken a bit of heart from that and said, right, now come on, this is us, let's really dig in, and they're doing it well.
Runs required, 190. Stokes around the wicket, fended away well, controlled into the ground. Burns is there at gully.
Yeah, I think that's a step too far. Because you're going to lose a couple of wickets doing that unless these two get 100, and 100 and something. But they really have come together.
It's a partnership of 85 so far.
They've done so well. They've just halted England, and you can just tell a bit of a shift. You see the old skipper hands in his pockets, and people going, "Hold on, this might be slipping away from us a little bit."
And still back the England camp at this stage. I think Stokes is in again around the wicket, ducking, letting the ball pass over his back. Because all it does take, I can say this, is break this one partnership. Now you have got Dowrich and Holder still to come, both very good batsmen, but then England have had the knack of running through. But what they don't want to happen is, it was 85 overs in the innings, so there's always going to be the prospect of 5 with the new ball if England needed it. And what they don't want is for the West Indies to still have 5 wickets in hand, 5 overs, or even 4 wickets in hand. You just want that to really be the last 2 if you're getting that to that stage. Stokes in again, bangs it in from around the wicket, and left well alone by Brooks.
I think Stuart Broad's spell is going to be key, isn't it? He's probably got a couple of spells in him, one after tea and then one, with that new ball if required. And he's looked the most likely for me.
They really want somebody else to chip in, whether it is Stokes or Bess, Curran, to get a couple of breakthroughs before then. So if anything, if it's Broad with the new ball, as I said, with 5 overs left in the day, but you want that to be the final charge.
But he's got to get England in the position to use that new ball.
Stokes in again, turned away past short leg. In control of the shot as Brooks coming back for a second. Throw comes into Butler. In fact, it's gathered in front of the stumps by Pope. 124 for 4 then.
Did I just finish the stat that I was interrupted by your wire untangling? So England have back to the stat that Simon Mann commissioned about half an hour ago now. There's only the 9th game. Southampton was the 8th in England's last 160 tests since 2007. They faced 10 or more right-handers. Previously, that had happened in about a third of their games. So it does show there've been more left-handers in Test cricket recently. In the 2010 decade, 30% of all Test players were left-handed. In the 2000s, it was 25%. In the 1990s, it was 20%. In the 1980s, it was 17%. So there's been an increase in left-handed batting in Test cricket.
Was this in the context of the conversation as to whether Leach gets brought in for the Test match here?
I think it's a certainty.
In comes Bess, over the wicket full once more, and draws Blackwood forward, and he defends it solidly again.
Yeah, I think it's a certainty. I think Raheem Cornwall
for the West Indies.
Come in for the West Indies.
Seen him in action quite a bit, haven't we? Doing some one-on-one netting and training. And
because this is a turning bouncing pitch, This is a bounce.
And he bowls from a good height, doesn't he?
Very much so.
Blackwood's just moving a little bit of loose dirt away. Bless you, Tuffers.
Excuse me.
Settling over his bat now. 50 not out of 83 balls. Bess in, coming forward, taking a single to long on. And Wokes is there to move in off the boundary. Pick up. Loopy throw back into Dom Bess. Well, the burst of wickets came when Broad had the ball in his hand, struck with the 5th ball of the innings to remove John Campbell. A review that was left late by Root, but it was a catch behind to Butler. Bess in again, defence coming forward. There's just not, there has been that around the wicket bowling, but there's not really any footmarks.
Doesn't matter.
Quite the spot where Bess wants to bowl into.
Doesn't matter. Should be turning it and spinning it on this and bouncing it. If you bowl it too full, how can you get bounced?
Yeah. You haven't really seen the loop in the delivery, the flights. Whip of the wrist this time, past mid-wicket. Quick single taken. Looking lively, coming back for the second. Throw comes back into Bess, and they're making a comfortable 2. And keeping things ticking over very smartly at the moment with little peril out there. 127 for 4. Partnership is now worth 90. Slipping short leg. Bess with a furrowed brow in, here's a lofted shot, holding the pose down the ground, over the head for 6. Not much that Wokes could do about that. He tried to leap from the ground and raised his arms in an attempt to see whether there was a catch on offer, but there wasn't. And that was a really wonderful stroke. It's clear the boundary back down the ground, and that is taking the attack to the spinner.
Beautiful shot. As I say, full again, and just able to get a good stride in and straight path of the bat swing. Middled it, and it was always going to be 6.
And went crashing into the tarpaulin.
Brooks's half century just came up from his 95th ball, 2 6s and 3 4s. It's his 4th in Test cricket. Second of this game, he has 100 amongst those 4. That was against Afghanistan. 52
not out. What a stylish way to bring up your 50.
Lovely.
Bess in again now, and he goes back and covers up and defends solidly. That's that ability to move from defence into spectacular attack, but they've got the measure of the England bowling.
They have
133
indeed.
for 4.
They have indeed, and it wasn't even spectacular. Well, it was a great shot, but I mean, there wasn't sort of an element of risk about it. We didn't have to use his feet, didn't have to sort of negotiate turn or bounce. It was just like a good stride to the ball, straight through. Didn't have to hit it too hard, just made sure you get the middle of the bat on it. Beautiful shot to get you 50.
Well, we are 5 minutes away, little under 4 minutes away from tea. Stokes is going to be bowling. England have only taken 1 wicket all session. So the early burst in the morning session, which was a dramatic session, what with Stokes going berserk with the bat to begin with to set up the declaration, which came with England 129 for 3, setting West Indies' target of 312. And then Broad and Wokes sharing 3 wickets between them. Since then, these two have done brilliantly together. Forcing this away, is up on his toes, Blackwood, a forcing shot of Stokes from his follow-through is setting off back towards the pavilion. I don't think even Stokes will catch up, or will he? Oh, I have to say, that is a brilliant effort from Stokes. He's slid in. Did he actually save the boundary or not? I have to go and have another look. I've never seen a bowler turn from his follow-through, sprinting all the way back to the boundary, because he knew there was no fielder back.
Yeah, he
has saved the boundary.
He really is doing everything for the team here. Diving as well, got the dive in, might have just gone for 4. They're having a look. You're right, the runs now are coming a little bit too freely as well. I think T might just come in England's favour here.
Yep.
Regroup, think of some plans, and go again. Because what's the target? How many do they need now?
They need another 176. Well, with that signal for 175.
Oh, well, they're not getting that in the session.
Blackwood on 55 now. Stokes around the wicket again. Defends it into the pitch. He's up on his toes, back of a length from Stokes.
4.2 and over to win the match from here. But yeah, England would then just put fielders all around. Listen, England should be looking to win this Test match. It's as simple as that. West Indies have played really, really well, and a great partnership has developed. But
it's now worth 100.
Yeah, but they're not getting the runs. Famous last words.
Just remember that at 15:53 p.m, 3:53, bouncer from Stokes, and Blackwood is ducking underneath it. Well, just watching Stokes chase back from the boundary. Then, I mean, what else could he do all in one delivery? I mean, it's a little bit of an ask, isn't it, with the speed he bowls, to ask him to deliver a ball and run round and take the gloves from Butler and sort of be keeper as well.
Yes, well, that's right. But like Speedy Gonzalez, he actually then bowls the delivery, he nicks it, and then runs round, puts the gloves on and catches it. Yeah, very good. Yeah, have some of that. Yeah.
He does do everything, doesn't he?
He does. He's a full-on cricketer, this boy.
Desperately need a breakthrough here, though. England need to break the partnership.
Oh,
gloved in the air. Butler's taking a brilliant diving catch.
And there it is.
That is Stokes the man when England desperately needed it. The ball back of a length, fended away. It's ballooned up behind the batsman. Butler did have to tear off to his left and took it diving just above the turf. Stokes the man. Blackwood gone for 55. 137 for 5, and that's T.
Yeah, just what England needed. They were looking flat. They were thinking that this partnership might get West Indies to safety, but then again, that man, Ben Stokes, he was looking uncomfortable from round the wicket. I must admit, Blackwood, he sort of wanted to throw his hands at it and didn't feel comfortable ducking or swaying, and then gets his rewards. Josh Butler made good ground there to get the grab. Blackwood goes for 55, and that could just be the lift that England needed going in a tee.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 down. They come out to the last session. They've got a new batsman. 5 wickets needed. There is the possibility of 5 overs with the new ball if they get to that stage, but that has just, again, altered the complexion once more.
It has. There would have been a few sort of like sorry faces in that tee room if this hadn't gone to hand to Josh Butler, but now it will be like pats on the back and saying, come on boys, let's get out here and really give it a good go after tea. Great bit of bowling again, the lion-hearted Ben Stokes. I mean, it's tough to keep running in bowling that stuff, and he's got his reward. Well done.
Fine effort. England trudging up the stairs, but with a lighter spring in their step than they would have had if the West Indies were going in 4 down with an unbroken 100 partnership in place. Shamar Brooks is still there, unbeaten on 52, but 137 for 5 then. A session where England had to really work hard to get the second of the 2 wickets that fell. So that's where things stand at the moment then. So
yeah, good effort.
Yeah. How many overs left in the evening session then, Andy? The equation.
42 overs and 2 balls. So we're just 1 ball past halfway.
Yeah. 312 is the target, but now it really is about getting England and getting these wickets. And when the West Indies, if they do see it through, it really be a matter of utter survival, you feel now. They've got Dowrich, Jason Holder to come, and then you're into the table.
Yeah, you're kind of thinking that England need another couple of wickets, and then it might be game over. But I've been very impressed with those two West Indian batsmen. As you say, they came out when they were rocking again and really did get in the way of England's progress. Such a shame just before tea, just getting a little bit of a glove on it. Why didn't you duck it? That's what was going through his mind. But yeah, well bowled Ben Stokes.
Yeah, persistence. So 1 wicket to Stokes, 3 for Broad and 1 for Chris Wokes as well. I've just been watching Aggers. He has managed to, well, he hasn't had any trouble now with the tangle of necklaces because they've all been beautifully straightened out and untangled. Tuffers, no, just a few more thoughts from you on the match situation. I guess how England will bowl as after the tea break to continue to burst through this West Indies lineup. And then Aggers is coming in to talk you through tea.
Well, I'm pretty sure Stuart Broad might be given a go. Ben Stokes has put a lot of effort in there. I think he might have a bit of a blow, and I can imagine it would be Stokes and Wokes starting up after. Broad and Wokes after tea, just to try and get these remaining West Indians wickets. Aggers.
Well, I mean, Ben Stokes is extraordinary, isn't he? He probably went round the wicket for maybe 4 of those 8 overs that he's bowled. And Blackett will be furious, I suspect, at having fallen for that. But under that armpit and round the wicket, he never really looked very comfortable. So England need 5 more wickets, and we're here in the tea break looking for something. It tells me how overs there are to go, but we'll get there in a second. 43, I think. So there's still plenty of time left for England to get these last remaining 5 wickets. They'll be underway again in about 15 minutes from now. So, well, we've enjoyed your company, Cookie.
Have you?
Yeah, really have, honestly. Yeah, we really have. It's been really good to have you with us, and we thought that you were going to be with us rather longer, because we weren't sure about county cricket and so on. But this is it. You're off to go and back into the nets.
I am. Sorry. I am going back tomorrow. We didn't know there was going to be any red ball cricket, so there's a possibility that I could have done a couple more of these test matches. But yeah, back with Essex tomorrow. I have been with them in between these 2 games and a bit before. So we're looking forward to playing after watching.
You are. I mean, it's interesting that, isn't it? Because you have now almost fully committed to coming to our side of the fence, and then you're going back onto the other. That walking is quite strange, wouldn't it? Hang on, to be a player again.
Not really. It'd just be nice to get out there actually with the guys. Really, it's been such a strange, well, for everyone I know, but such a strange 6 months for cricket, and it would just be nice to see the guys. And the reason I'm playing is that I get on quite well with them. I enjoy the coming on, and we are trying to win stuff. And so obviously last year was a really good year for Essex, and we'd like to have built on it this year. It's going to be very different. But
yeah. So that was the last time you held a bat then, back in September.
Well, that was until, but then I started in February.
Yes.
And then we went to pre-season tour, and then that got cancelled in Abu Dhabi when we were there, and then didn't pick up a bat from middle of March till about 3 weeks ago.
Right. Is there any part of you that looks and thinks, I could have, if I'd finished then, and we won the championship and so on, that would have been a great way to wrap the whole thing up? Or is something still driving you to go and play?
Yeah, it's hard to explain, really. There's just such a good connection at the club. I enjoy when I turn up there. It's good fun. That was surrounded by good people, and that's so important. Anthony McGrath, Ryan Tenderscott, Tom Wesley, people I've spent quite a lot of time with and played a lot of cricket with. And certainly those 2 other guys, Nick Brown, and it's just a nice environment to be around, really. So why shouldn't I carry on?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, why should you? I guess, what goals have you got? I guess that's the question, is it? Or do you not necessarily bother about goals and targets? And
well, the goals was to win something. That was what after I finished in 2018 with England, was to go back to Essex and try and win something. So we've won one. Over the next couple of years, we'll try and win another.
Yeah. And do you think you will carry on that much longer? Because you see yourself doing a full season of championship cricket.
Well, last year, I was planning to do a full season this year. I've always it's been very open communication with Essex, as in as soon as I stop enjoying it, I really, really don't want to do it. It's different getting your car, going off to play, and you think, why am I doing this? There's other things I'd rather be doing. Then I'll stop. But I didn't have it last year. It took a little bit of time to get into it.
Yeah.
And get the pace of county cricket again, and it's quite unrelenting. You're kind of here, there, and everywhere. Play a lot of cricket, but because I don't play T20, there's periods of time where I get a bit of time off. But we spoke. We keep our. Here we go.
What was going on there, but it sounds as if we fell off air, as they say in technical terms. That's why you suddenly got the burst of music and so on. So I'm very sorry about that. I'm not sure, we were totally and blissfully unaware of what happened there, but we're just chatting away to Alistair Cook about him carrying on and why he's carrying on and so on. Would you change your mind at all if suddenly you saw a young player at Essex and you thought, he should be playing, really, he's got a career ahead of him, a future ahead of him, it's time that he stepped up and got the chance?
Yeah, if there was players you think who were better than me and could deliver more or the similar level, but until I'm not delivering for the team, or then if I have an absolute stinker for a while, then that would obviously push the decision on. But last year I scored my fair share of runs in tough conditions and felt as if I contributed a bit to the title. So as long as that's happening, I don't see if that young kid's better than me, then he plays, doesn't it? And that's what it should be, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because lots of people they stop playing international cricket and that's it, and they just can't lift themselves to go out there and play county cricket.
I mean, I said this quite a number of times actually. Cricket's such a massive part of your life, such a time-consuming. Came to play in a 5-day game, and also the training you have with it, and everything which goes with it. Then to suddenly, just stop totally there at the over, walking off. That's a big life adjustment. That's a big life adjustment for everyone in terms of back home and for me. So actually, this kind of tapering off a little bit, like preparing yourself to do what's going to happen for the next 34 years. Because to be honest with you, I had no idea. All I ever concentrated on, I was rubbish at those. Those PCA things. He said you've got to start planning for the future. You've got to do this, and I shouldn't be, but I just switched off. I was like, I'm just going to put all my effort, all my energy into continuing playing for England as long as I can, and delivering my skills and all that kind of stuff. Rather than I'll worry about that when I get to it.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's check out tea here. If you're just tuning our way, it's an excellent finish, building up as we thought. 137 for 5 is the West Indies. So they've got about 42 overs, England, to get those last 5 wickets. The target for the West Indies is 312. So we're just chatting here with Cookie, who's going to leave us after this match to go back and get to put his pads on, his whites and everything else, and go back to life on the road. But it'll be odd, won't it? I mean, have you got any idea really the fixtures and the structure and so on that you are going to be returning to, and how it's going to work?
Well, I think the fixtures are coming out this week, aren't they? I think we've been promised that so many times. So it's only 10 days before the season. No, there's just obviously Red Bull cricket and T20, and I think it's all the Red Bull stuff first and then the T20 stuff. Although there is a rumour of the final of the 4 days is the 1st to the 5th of August. October.
That seems
a little bit strange.
That seems incredible.
I know, that does.
He's playing Championship cricket then, and of course it's called the Bob Willis Trophy, isn't it? I mean, you did his impersonation and all, the Mickey taking aside for you when you got your wicket and so on. But was he someone who you were very attached to? Were you close to Bob?
I didn't know Bob that well. Obviously, it doesn't matter how much cricket I passed, it's never seemed to cross. We got him into the setup a couple of times actually, and he went for dinner with the fast bowlers.
Yes, that's right.
With Stuart and Jimmy, and Ben Stokes, and just seeing they saw a different side. I didn't know Bob that well at all, actually. So, but it's a great fitting tribute for him.
Yes.
That there is this, and you wonder whether the county championship could change its name forever, maybe.
Yeah. Is that your idea? Because Bob could be quite savage on people's performances and so on. So I can imagine that those bowlers that you're talking about thought, really? The last time I turned the telly on, Bob was giving me a very hard time.
Well, I think when he became the guy on the verdict, where he was unrelenting all the time, then you started doing a little bit of digging, weren't you? And then you realise it was just an act.
Yeah, a job
and an act. He acted that role, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He acted that role. And, actually, when you then listen to people like yourself and David Lloyd and people who have spent a lot of time with, and obviously Nasser, I know Nasser very well, and he's a great person to be around, and he passionately cared about English cricket, and we end up having a theme of just of getting old legends into the dressing room, try and break the barriers down between the media and the players. And actually, over the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, the relationship between the media and the players is as good as I can remember anyway.
I like what Joe Root is doing also. Well, perhaps you started it, I don't know, but certainly I've only been... It's happened to me while Joe has been captain. Was on a tour in particular, they do have an England night, raise money for charity. We could pay to go in, and there's pizzas and a couple of beers or something. It's not during a game, it's in a period between. But actually, they invite all the former England players who are on the tour to go along. I think it's quite eye-opening for some of the younger players, actually, who think, really, that bloke play for England, and just for a little while, when you're an old wrinkly like me, just for a little while, you're a player again. It's a lovely feeling. Then it's good for the young players, because they realise actually that spotlight's there, and enjoy it. It's shining on you, but it's not long before you're a bald, overweight, slightly stooped old fast bowler, and enjoy it while you can, but also make the most of it while you can.
Yeah, no, that was nothing to do with me. I didn't know. I knew they did England nights. So I didn't know what.
Yeah,
they're there. Well, it's a great idea, isn't it? It's a great idea, because actually a lot of certainly now sitting on this side of the fence, we all want England to win, but obviously we still have to comment on the game, and if you see a bad shot, or you see bad things which have to be told to the listener, otherwise we're not doing our jobs properly. But there's such a better understanding now of the players, and I think social media has. These guys have been, born and bred pretty much to social media. Ollie Pope had an Instagram account at 11 probably, and Twitter at 12, and understands how it works, and it is keyboard warriors really. They're just when it first came out, I think it took us, so the older generation of players, that took us hard to manage. So we, like Andy Flower